بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم. Alhamdulillah, we started with the method of salat. The first rakat we discussed. You recite the sana, you recite the ta'awuz, you recite the basmala, and we gave you the hukum of each thing. You recite the surah Fatiha, we gave you the hukum of that. You recite the surah, we gave you the hukum of that. And then we discussed the ruku in detail. We discussed the qiyam, we discussed the sajda, we discussed the jalsa, and then coming up from there straight up into qiyam again. We discussed reading the second rakat, and then after reading the second rakat, we discussed that whether you're reading a 3 rakat salah or a 4 rakat salah, you have to recite the shahud in the second rakat, and we said that the shahud there is what? That the shahud there, it is wajib. It is not faraz, right? So, but to just build upon that part there to say that the shahud after the second rakat is wajib, there's an important principle I want to show you. Ulama explained this is not in the kitab here, but just to expand on that. If a person is reading, for example, a Luqman is reading a 3 rakat salah or is reading a 4 rakat salah, and he forgets to sit after the second rakat. This is for the ladies also at home, or for the imam, or even you reading your sunnahs. Listen nicely to this principle. After the second rakat, it is wajib to sit and recite the tashahud. But if you forgot to recite the tashahud, so you stood up. Now listen nicely. If you are closer to the sitting position, then you come back and you recite your tashahud, right? And then you make sajdahu. But if you are closer to the standing position, then leave that tashahud, stand up and continue with your third rakat. And what is the reasoning? What is the rationale for this? The reasoning is similar to, like, I don't know if I discussed this myself with you, that in Ramadan you make witr in Jamaat, isn't it? Today the ulama explain also, listen nicely to this. If a person forget to make that qunut, if witr, and he goes directly into ruku, the ulama say don't call him back. Don't call him back. Most of the people get excited and they call the imam back out of the ruku to come to do the qunut. The reason why is, look here, this is the reasoning, and the similar reasoning applies here. So even this will also be apply for a lady reading at home, salat, whatever, or a man reading his witr at home. If a lady, she forgot to do her kunut and she went into what? She went into ruku. Don't come back out of ruku to do your kunut. Carry on and make sajda sahu. And what is the reasoning? What is the rationale? The reasoning is this. Look here, ruku is faraz, ne? Isn't ruku is faraz? And kunut is what? Kunut is wajib. Kunut is wajib. So why come out of a farz? Why come out of a farz or disturb a farz to come to a wajib when the wajib can be compensated for with a what? With a sajasahu. So same thing here, we're saying that whether it's a 3 rakat salah or whether it's a 4 rakat salah, after the second rakat, you have to sit and recite the tashahud. And then again, this tashahud here, it is not faraz, it is wajib. That is why I said, because if it is wajib, if you stood up and you went into your third rakat and you are closer to standing up, then you will continue, finish your third rakat, and make sajda sahu. Don't come back down. Don't come back down. You understood that? So there we discuss it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَلَا يَزِيدُ عَلَى هَذَا فِي الْقَعْدَةِ الْأُولَى. So in the first qa'dah, the first qa'dah will refer to the first tashahud, whether it's a 3 rakat salah or it's a 4 rakat salah. If it is a 2 rakat salah, then it's not then that first tashahud is not a qa'dah ula, it's a qa'dah akhirah, right? So ولا يزيد على هذا في القاعدة الأولى لقول ابن مسعود, because Ibn Mas'ud said علمني رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم التشهد وسط الصلاة وآخرها. That Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught me the tashahud in the middle of the salah and after salah, right? So another thing here is just what I want to show you. It's not in the kitab, but if a person made a mistake, right, and he recited the durood and he said Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. The moment he reads the word Muhammad, And then he remembers, hey, I'm supposed to stand up. Then he remembers, hey, I'm supposed to stand up. And then he stands up. Then he stands up. Then what will happen? You have to make sajda sahu. Why? Because he delayed the third rakat. You understand what I'm saying? He delayed the third rakat. You understood that? I'll repeat that. If a person is reading a three rakat salah, person is reading a three rakat salah, or he's reading a four rakat salah, and he's after the tashahud, he's supposed to stand up. He said, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. And the moment he said the word Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and now he realized, hey, I'm supposed to go up for the third rakat. He realized, so he'll go up for the third rakat, but you have to make sajda sahu, because he now delayed the third rakat, because he's supposed to start the third rakat immediately after the tashahud. So it's the interesting anecdote that is related to this here. Oh, I see the phone is on 5%. I hope it will make it. Huh? Inshallah. I see the thing is on aeroplane mode. It doesn't affect it. Huh? It's fine. This phone also supposed to have some airtime that we're supposed to, you know about it. The phone supposed to also have some data. Do you people use it? No. Right. So once, so I told you, according to Hanafi madhab, if a person says Allah must, after tashahud, he said Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin, the sajda sahu become wajib. So there's, I don't know the authenticity of this, but once Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala, he saw Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam in a dream. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said to him that Imam Abu Hanifa, are you the one that said if a person takes my name, then sajda sahu becomes wajib upon him? You understood the question? Are you the one who said that if somebody takes my name, he said Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, you take my name, then sajda sahu becomes wajib? Why are you making sajda sahu wajib when a person takes my name? So Imam Hanifa said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu the person who takes your name, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, in the first tashahud, he's done it forgetfully because he forgot he's supposed to stand up. So we punish him with the sajda sahu, not because he's taking your name. We punish him because he's taking your name in negligence. You understood that? Subhanallah. So just remember that masla. Whether you're the Imam of Salah, or whether you are reading, is a man, you're reading your faraz alone, or whether you are a woman, you're reading your faraz alone, or whether you are reading a woman, you're reading your sunnats alone, whatever. If you said Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin, so if you just said Allahumma salli, sajda doesn't become wajib. With the pronunciation of the word Muhammad, that is when sajda becomes wajib. So you understood that? So see there, that's what we're saying there. وَلَا يَزِيدُ عَلَى هَذَا. You will not increase over the tashahud. And like I explained to you in detail, if he said Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin, when he says Muhammad, then sajda will become wajib. Man, woman, imam, nafil namaz, whatever, same law, right? لِقَوْلِ ibn Mas'udin, and what is the proof to say you must only recite tashahud in the, what you call it, you must only recite the tashahud in the first qaida, you must not recite, right? Is a statement of a statement of Ibn Mas'ud, Allamani Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught me at-tashahud fi wasti salati wa akhiriha. The tashahud that goes in the middle of the salah, it means like after the second rakat, and right, and in the last salah. فإذا كان وسط الصلاة, and then the Nabi taught me that when you're in the middle of salah, which means like the second rakat of a three rakat salah, or the second rakat of a four rakat salah, nahada إذا فرغ من التشهد, you will stand up like how we done. You stand up on the balls of your feet from the tashahud. وإذا كان آخر الصلاة, and if it's the last rakat of the salat, right? وإذا كان آخر دعا لنفسه بما شاء, you will make dua for that, but for himself, whatever he wishes. Now, okay, this ibarat here will be qualified a little bit later, but I'll just tell you before the time. It doesn't mean you can make any dua. Although it says dua li nafsi, you will make dua from those words, jazakallah, from those words that come from the Quran and the Sunnah. You can't say like, oh Allah Ta'ala, give me 10 rand, oh Allah Ta'ala, give me a bicycle, or something like that. Oh Allah Ta'ala, allow my wife to allow me to take second wife, or marry me to this girl or to that girl or something. That is called In Arabic, that is called, or in fiqh terminology, it's called kalamun nas. What is it called? So yeah, in salah, you will make dua of kalamun nas. You will make what we call as iya ma'thura. But anyway, more of that will come just now. I'll explain it when you come. But I just the reason why I'm clarifying was it says وإذا كان وإذا كان آخر صلاتي دعا لنفسه بما شاء. He says he can make dua for himself whatever he wishes. It doesn't mean he can use like normal day-to-day speech. What it means, he can what? He can make from the Aadiel Ma'thura. Okay, carry on reading from there. يقول في الأخرين أو في الأخيرين. Okay, في الأخريين بفاتح الكتاب. Okay, so in the next ibadah explaining, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the next ibadah explaining what they're saying is, like we told you, only in the first two rakats, only in the first two rakats, you will recite Surah Fatiha, it is wajib. And then I told you, we gave you all the details of either Surah or three of the shortest verses in the Quran, or one long verse that equals to the shortest verse that is wajib, or as far as is any verse that when you listen to it, you think is the Quran. So in a three rakat salah, right, like Maghrib, right, like Maghrib, we speak about Faraz Salah now, yeah, just remember that we speak about Faraz Salah. We're not speaking about Wajib Salah, we're not speaking about Sunnah Salah. Just remember that caveat, remember this proviso. If you're talking about a Faraz Salah like Maghrib, or a 4 rakat Salat like Zohar, or a 4 rakat Salat like Asr, or a 4 rakat Salat like Isha, then in the second 2 rakats, you only have to recite Surah Fatiha. And obviously, if it's a loud salah also, you recite it softly. Right? So, you don't have to recite the surah with it. You don't have to recite. So, وَيَقْرَأُ فِي الرَّكْعَتَيْنِ الْأَخِيرَتَيْنِ. So, he will recite in the last 2 rakats, بِفَاتِحَةِ الْكِتَابِ وَحْدَهَا. You will only recite Surah Fatiha alone. لحديث أبي قتادة, because the hadith of Abu Qatada, أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, that Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم قرأ في I also got here in my kitab في الأخيرين. You say got في الأخرى. Oh, what you got في الأخريين. Just check here in the PDF what is there. There's a Bushra print. I want to see what's في الأخريين. What's there? I can't see what's it also. Is it? Show me where is it? Where I can't. Where is it? Show. Yeah, so there will be fil ukhrayaini also. Fil ukhrayaini, same like yours, right? So yeah, the kitab is saying you must recite Surah Fatiha in the second 2 rakats. But I will teach you something that is not even in the kitab. لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قرأ في الأخرين في الكتاب وهذا بيان الأفضل وهو الصحيح. This is the better thing. To such an extent that Surah Fatiha is not wajib. You can even recite 3 tasbih in this time. Sometimes you are pressed for time. Sometimes maybe you want to catch a plane. Or sometimes maybe the time of Salat is going out or something. But again, this is not in your Sunnah Salah. In your Sunnah Salah, it is wajib to recite in all 4 rakats Surah Fatiha and a Surah, right? So this is not a Faraz Salah. This is not a Sunnah Salah. It's not a Wajib Salah. This is a Faraz Salah. So in the Faraz Salah, it is better to recite Surah Fatiha in the last 2 rakats, but it's not Faraz. To such an extent that you can even make 3 tasbih. You can say Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Or even that much is not Faraz. Even if you just remain silent, even if you just remain silent for the duration of 3 tasbihs in a Faraz Salah, in the 3rd rakat and the 4th rakat, that will be suffice. There will be sufficient. He said, وَهَذَا بَيَانُ الْأَفْضَلِ. This is the explanation of what is most virtuous. وَهُوَ الصَّحِيح, and this is correct. Why? لأن القراءة فرض في الركعتين على ما يأتيك. because Qiraat is only farz, right? في الركعتين in the first two rakat على ما يأتيك, according to the details, it will come inshallah. The details will come at the later stage inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right, carry on. قال وجلس في الآخرة كما جلس في الأولى لما روينا من حديث وائل عائشة رضي الله عنها. Right. Now, what they're saying there in that ibarat, that in the last setting, and in technical terminology, it's called qa'da akhira. What is it called? So in your qa'da akhira, you will sit exactly like how you sat in the qa'da ula, both the men and the women. I told you the men will sit with the left buttock resting on the inside of the left ankle and the right foot with the heels facing the sky and the toes slightly bent with the front of the toes facing the Qibla. The ladies will sit with both ladies will sit with left buttock and right buttock flat on the ground with the left leg and the right leg coming out on the right hand side, right? This is the Masnoon method. Yes, sometimes if due to leg problems, old age, weight, whatever, a person can't sit like this, sit in some other manner, then that's a different story altogether, right? But other than that, this is a correct manner. So in this next ibarat, they're saying that you will sit in the Qa'da Akhira exactly like how you sit in the Qa'da Ula. And why? Obviously, because it's proven from the hadith that that's the way you must sit. And then another reason also, they're saying why? They're sitting like this for the men. It is more difficult, to have your uh, the heels facing up to the sky, etc. It's more effort. That's why you see a lot of people, they sit with both feet down. Right? So uh, there's more effort in that. You see people, they are a lot of people, they are very, negligent with regards. I guarantee you, next time you in Salah, or maybe if you come late in Salah, you see, I guarantee you 80% of the people are not doing sitting correctly. They're either sitting with both their feet like this here, like both their feet spread like this. See how I'm sitting? Or some of them are sitting on the heels of their feet. Only about 10% of the people are sitting in the proper sunnah manner, maybe even lesser than that. That's why I told you with your left buttock on the inside of your left foot and with your right foot with the heel pointing to the sky. So maybe you as an imam, inshallah, you can bring the sunnah alive because it is clear in the hadith, فَنَصَبَ الْيُمْنَى, that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to keep his right foot up. So you, inshallah, Maulana Luqman, as an imam, or you'll be a maktab teacher, you will give bayan sometimes. Sometimes, we think also, a lot of times we think we must give fancy bayans. But sometimes you can speak about these sunnats. Hazrat Mullah Abdul Hamid Sahib, what he used to do is he used to, before he start any talk of his, no matter what talk it was, he would mention one sunnat in the beginning of the talk. He would mention one sunnat in the beginning of the talk. So that's a nice way of bringing the sunnah alive. So every time you give a talk, you can speak about the correct, you mention the correct method for which a lady will sit, like I will explain. You mentioned the correct method for which a man will sit. And then the ladies, we got all our online ladies here. They can also, inshallah, some of them are maktab teachers. So they got boys in the madrasa, they can teach the boys. Some of them are mums. They will show their children, their sons, how to sit. Or maybe they can even teach their husbands what is because this is proven from the hadith. So that is a sunnah. So what the hadith is, Man ahya sunnati in the fasadi ummati ka'annahu. But the hadith, that person who brings my sunnah alive, at the time when people have abandoned my sunnah, and I can safely say that he said, abandoned sunnah. So whether you are a imam that will be giving a lecture in a masjid, you can one day do a practical salah. Whether you are a maktab teacher, or whether you are a mummy, you can teach your young boys, or you can teach your husband even. Whether you are a granny also, when your grandchildren, the boys come, you can call them and tell them, come, let me show you what is the proper sunnat way of a man sitting in salah. I remember when we were studying in Aadiel, uh, that time we're doing the iftar, the MUFTI course, then there was one Maulana there. He's actually the son-in-law of Abdul Hamid. His name is Mullah Abdul. Believe me or not, his bowl bayan was istinja. He explained all the adab and the etiquette of istinja, like how you enter with your left foot. Don't just take your clothes off as you're going down. You take your clothes off to minimize the exposure of your body. Some people, when we were in madrasa, we need to go to the toilet first. When you go past the toilet, you see his pants hanging on the door there. You go past the toilet, you see his pants is hanging. That means he takes his whole pants off. He takes his whole pants off, his whole ijar, and now. So that is against the adab, the etiquette. You must, ulama explain, as you're going down, you release your pants so that your body is not completely exposed. So he gave a whole bayan only on all the adab and etiquette. Ulama explained to such an extent also like how you enter the foot with the left foot, how you enter the toilet with the left foot. When you're getting onto the flat toilet, also you put your left foot on first. When you're getting off, you go with your right foot, etc., etc. So this is also something of merit, something of virtue that we can speak about, that we can educate people, and inshallah we will get the reward of bringing alive the sunnah of our beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we were speaking about the correct way of sitting. So وَجَلَسَ فِي الْأَخِيرَةِ كَمَا جَلَسَ فِي الْأُولَى. You will sit in the last rakat, like how we sat in the first rakat. إِلْمَا رَوَيْنَا, because of what we narrated من حديث وائل, because of the hadith of Wa'il ibn Hujr, وعائشة, and the hadith of Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha. So that is like, as per Sahib Hidaayah's habit, he brings the dalil naqli first, then he brings the dalil aqli. What is the logical reason? وَلِأَنَّهُ أَشَقُّ عَلَى الْبَدَنِ. To sit like how I told you now, for the men, right, with the right leg erect, it is more difficult on the body. And there's another principle in fiqh, that especially in the fiqh, al-ma'unatu ala qadr al-mashakka. Al-ma'unatu ala qadr al-mashakka. That reward is in relation to amount of effort you make. So sitting this way with your right leg up, there's more effort in this. What is there? There's more effort in this. It is more, you have to, so to say, uncomfortable. So there's more sacrifice in it. So because there's more sacrifice in it, there's more reward for it, right? ولأنه أشق على البدن فكان أولى, so it is better than tawarruk. I told you what is tawarruk. Tawarruk is like I told you how the ladies sit, left buttock on the ground, right buttock flat on the ground, with the left leg and the right leg coming out on the right side, right? فكان أولى من التورك الذي يميل إليه مالك. It is better than tawarruk, the one which has Imam Malik inclines towards it, right? The Shawafi also. والذي يروى أنه على right. So فكان أولى, it is better من التورك than التورك الذي يميل إليه مالك رحمه الله تعالى والذي يروى أنه عليه السلام. So now in the next ibarat we're answering an objection. There is a hadith which Imam Shafi and Imam Malik, they take where they say Nabi made tawarruk, right? So we say our answer is pretty simple there. We say that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the latter part of his life, when he had become aged, and lamma badana, maybe his body became a bit more heavier, it was difficult to sit like this, nasab al-rumya, nasab al-rumya, then he made tawarruk. So walladhi yurwa, that which is narrated, annahu alayhi salam, that Nabi sallallahu qa'ada mutawarrikan, he sat in the tawarruk position. ضعفه الطحاوي, Imam Tahawi, which is also a great scholar of hadith, the same author of your Aqidat al-Tahawiyah, and also there's a book also they teach in the final year, it's called Athar Sunan by Imam Tahawi, because Imam Tahawi was a Hanafi, so he gathered all the Hanafi proofs in there, for the Salah, etc., etc. So Da'af al-Tahawi, so we say that this riwayat is weak. أو يحمل على حالة الكبر, or we can say that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the latter part of his life, when he become aged and his body was more weaker, then he sat like that, right? Okay, we stop there, inshallah. We will continue tomorrow. Today is Wednesday, Thursday. May Allah Ta'ala accept. And again, as I said, our intention must be primarily to make amal on what is being said. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq to make amal. And Allah Ta'ala then also gives us the tawfiq to convey to others Like I told you before, you don't have to be a teacher in a madrasa. You don't have to be a teacher of Hidaayah Sharif. You don't have to be a teacher in a maktab. Everybody, as a mother, as a granny, as an aunt, as a father, as an uncle, you can still share what you learn with your nieces, with your nephews, and you can also be from amongst خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. You can still get the virtue of being from amongst the best people who learn the Quran and teach the Quran. May Allah Ta'ala accept it, give us the tawfiq to practice and to convey it. And may Allah Ta'ala make it also a means of shifa for all those that are ill. May Allah Ta'ala grant us cure and remove all difficulties. Thus, سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك الله وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.